ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Halo Effect. As usual, I am your host, Robert Lockhart. Hey, let's talk some baseball, huh? I know it's been a while since I've done this, but like I said last time, hey, sometimes life happens and I just can't get to it. So, with that, before we really get into this, I want to say congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the World Series and all that. Hey, Shohei, looks like you picked the right team, huh? Also they could afford to give you the $700 million that you wanted over the next 10 years. Well, next 20 years, actually. But anyway, that's beside the point. Well, Angels, man, bravo. Bravo. Most losses in franchise history. What the hell is that about? My God. I've seen Hoover suck less than that. Jeez. I guess you can count your chickens lucky that you're not the White Sox, I guess. You know, the second worst team in the American League, fourth worst overall. Dear Lord. I guess this is what happens when all you do is try to improve your bullpen, which, by the way, way to go. That was pathetic. Did I not tell you Luis Garcia was going to be a waste of time? I mean, at least you got something decent out of him in a trade. I mean, he's doing somewhat better near the trade deadline that we were able to get something for him. Of course, you get two really good pitchers, kind of under the radar guys who were kind of climbing up the ladder when you traded for them. Look where they're at now, for the whole Carlos Estevez trade. So I do like that one. I do like what George Clausen's going to bring to the table. I like what Sam Aldeguerri did. That was really nice. So now, what do we do? Well, let's see. We've said that we're gonna the payroll's gonna go up. Definitely gonna go up. Gotta add more players. Add some decent depth. So what have we done? We've traded for Jorge Soler. Let's see. A lot of power. Doesn't really hit very much to really tap into it. He has a couple of seasons, but for the most part, never really hit a lot to tap into his power. And is not the best fielder in the world. Do we have another player like this named Joe Adele? Is that what we wanted? We wanted to ship in a carbon copy of him. Well, not exactly a carbon copy, a Latin carbon copy. So, I don't get it. What was the deal with that trade? And there's so many other good trades out there that could be made. That's the one you bring in? Then what was next? Scott Kingery, a failed prospect we're hoping is going to emerge. You guys hoping lightning strikes twice? Because, with what happened with Mickey Moniak, now, granted, Moniak had a really, really bad season, dropping 60 points on his batting average, becoming like a part-time player. What happened there? Let's see. Well, how did the season end? Sean Newell had the highest average on the team at 250. That's pathetic. This guy was hitting over 300 when he first came up to the bigs. He was on base the rest of the entire time. What happened? I believe his name's Johnny Washington. Became his hitting coach, and everyone took a freaking nosedive. Holy crap! That's not just a nosedive. That's a crash and burn. My lord. And, of course, we lose out on Trout and Rendon again. Gee, who could have seen that one coming? Me? Well, Rendon, anyway. I was hoping that Trout would be there the whole season. I really was. But, hey, what I say? Life happens. So, there you go. Now, where do we go from here? It's very simple, guys. Loosen the purse strings a little bit. Kyle Hendricks, this was another big acquisition that we got. I know it's a 1 year deal, just 2.5 mil, but I mean, he's had one good season out of the last four. I really hope that you're looking at higher mountains here. You know, that you just stepped on a couple of molehills and said, I've achieved something. What did you achieve? You achieved them bringing in players that were great in the past. Well, not Soler. Soler's just been adequate at best. But, I mean, is Billy Epler still in charge over there? This smells like Billy Epler all over again. It's the same stupid moves that he was making. Unless it wasn't Billy Epler, and rumors are actually true that Art Moreno is pulling an Al Davis and calling all the shots himself, thinking he knows better than the people he brings in. I don't think so, Art. So, what do we do? What's out there? Corbin Burns is out there. Max Fried is out there. Walker Buehler's out there. There's three really great pitchers right there. You have a ton of cap space. Utilize it, for God's sake, and get someone to head up that rotation along with Soriano until he can really take the reins of the rotation himself. Because, I mean, arm fatigue, he only had two pitches that were working really well all season. Now, granted, he got by pretty good. You know, a 97 sinking fastball and a nasty knuckle curve. But I like to see his slider and his changeup work a lot better. That needs to happen. And you need a veteran ace on that staff. Those three guys will take those reins and really show him the ropes. Now, as it comes to pitching, for the first time, I'd say we're pretty good. But I'd like to get one of those three guys and maybe trade for a younger guy. Someone who's just kind of come up to the big leagues. Someone whose career has just kind of started. I mean, obviously, I'm not speaking about some of the bigger names out there. But there are good names out there that you can grab for, I don't know, let's say letting Detmers go. Dude, I'm more than willing to trade him to get something that's proven. I mean, this guy looks like he's starting to put things together and all of a sudden tanks. I mean, twice we've had to send him back down to the minors to figure something out. And even when he comes back up, he's good for 2 games and then loses it again. It's maddening, to be honest with you. And trading Griffin Canning, okay, you know what? By all means, get rid of him. Don't worry. I don't worry too much about him. He still has good stuff. Maybe the Braves will bring it out, which you'll kick yourself for, knowing that, oh, we just brought in bad coaching. Duh. Guys, you have all the talent in the world on this team. You got Shanuel, Neto are going to be great. Moniak, if he can get his act together and start going the other way with the pitch rather than trying to pull the ball all the damn time, can still be amazing. Hoppy's looking really good. None of them took that next step that I knew they needed to take. None of them did. Okay, you can argue Neto had a 2020 season. He still batted .248. That's not the next step. If he batted .275 and had a 2020 season, excellent. Now we're talking. But still, .248. It's not great. Hoppy was in the 230s somewhere. Moniak dropped into the 220s, and God knows where Adele landed. Slightly under 210, I believe. Unless it was 211. It's one of those two. So, what do? How about we change our coaching around a little bit? Now, I will give Barry Enright credit. He was able to get something great out of Sandoval before he went down needing Tommy John. He figured out how to get Jack Johanowitz to actually control his pitches, a guy who's had no control throughout his entire career thus far. Now he's got great control. You got to credit Enright for that. But again, the failures with Canning and Detmers, the abject failures, they still blew it. Couldn't count on them. So it's up in the air. You still don't know. I would still bring in a little extra help, somebody who really knows this stuff, to really bring out the greatness in these pitchers. I definitely would get rid of Washington and their offensive coordinator. What are you, football now? Get rid of Tim Laker. None of those guys have done any good for this offense. Bring in somebody who knows what they're doing, who actually knows how to hit, and knows how to teach people how to hit. There's a group of guys out there that can do it. Let's bring one in. How about that? We have great possibilities, guys. We have a ton of cap space. We have tradable players. We can grab good people. Now, the hard part is actually getting some of these guys to sign, because your team is so damn bad right now that I don't think anyone's going to want to pitch for you. Not in free agency, anyway. That's going to be difficult. So you're going to have to look for the trade route. Maybe Corbin Burns wants a shot with you. Maybe not. He did well with Baltimore. Baltimore got him a bunch of runs. He got some great wins. He had a wonderful... He's competing for a Cy Young, for God's sake. Didn't I say trade for him? Did you? No. People. I can't be reiterating the same thing all the damn time. You stuck with Luis Rengifo. I know he was doing good, but at this juncture, when you drafted Christian Moore, this guy's not going to spend a lot of time in the minors. I'm more than willing to bet, and I will put money on this, that he makes the team out of spring training as a starting second baseman. I will put money on that. I really would, because I believe he will do it. Now, what are you going to do with Rengifo? Probably move him over to third base, because it looks like Anthony Rendon's going to become the first $38 million bench player. Wow. I believe there's ways around this. How about just release him? Just open up his roster spot. Cut down on his salary off the books. I know you probably got to keep half of his salary on the books, but pay him the rest. But at least do that. He's worthless right now. He's not doing you any good. He's not done you any good, period. He's a waste of a roster spot right now. Why keep him? Why pay him $38 million to ride the pine? I don't get it. But you do you. You do you. If you continue along these lines, you're going to have probably along the same kind of season you did this year. You're going to have it next year. Guarantee it. You continue along these lines, that's exactly what's going to happen. Continue with Ron Washington and Tim Laker, that offense is not going to go anywhere. I can guarantee you that. And I'll tell you this. I will tell you what, if next year comes and there's actual improvement and you have a winning season, I will eat my words and I will stop doing this. I'll give it up because obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. But here's what I do know. He was the hitting coach for the San Diego Padres for 3 seasons. They were one of the worst teams in baseball. They lost 90 games, they lost 90 plus games, 90 plus games, 90 plus games. They didn't learn from their mistakes. The offense was atrocious. This guy was an assistant hitting coach with the Cubs, and you credited him for the Cubs hitting well? Maybe Dave Kelly, their regular hitting coach? Maybe look at him, because he probably had more to do with it than he did. So, again, I'm missing something here. If this is what you guys want to continue to do, by all means, continue to try this Moneyball crap that for some reason only Billy Beane knows how to do. Let him continue to do it. You do what's necessary. Loosen the purse strings and go out and get some of the big free agents that have actually done well in the past. Not Juan Soto. You're not even in his league right now. He's probably going to go back with the Yankees. Same thing with Alex Bregman. No, he's going to stay with the Astros more than likely. So, what are you going to do? I would look at Walker Buehler. You might be able to get him because he's kind of on a prove it thing with his pitching. He didn't have the best return from Tommy John surgery, but he's good, and we've seen it. So he's probably looking for a prove it deal. Maybe 3 years. Opt out after the first, probably more than likely. You can get him 50 mil, probably. So good with that. He's a proven ace. He was the number one guy for the Dodgers for a couple of seasons before he got hurt. He did great. Next season off Tom John surgery, guys. This is where he usually finds his stuff. So, I'm going to leave it there. You guys do you. Whatever you feel like you're going to do, I'm going to warn you against it. Don't do it. Get rid of your hitting coaches. Find somebody better that knows how to teach these guys how to hit. If you have to bring Rod Carew back, he might do it. Probably not. He's really getting up there in age, and he's had health issues. So let's not work that hard. But somebody who can hit. I like Paul Molitor. I like the idea of bringing him in as your hitting coach. I mean, I would say Albert Pujols, but the man's still enjoying his retirement. Let's let him be retired. So, again, I'll leave it there. You guys do you. And next year, hopefully, go Halos.